Hello, I'm Mike Gordon. For our 9th game of Christmas, we will be taking on Earthworm Jim Special Edition for the Sega CD. It's basically just an updated version of the original Earthworm Jim, but with a few extra levels, and the music and graphics are tweaked up a bit. So yes, there are more levels, which is why I chose to play this over the original. They're the same game anyways. So yeah, this is my Sega CD representative this year. And man, I have been sitting on this game for a really long time. The reason why I've held off covering this game for so long is simple. If I do a bunch of 12 games of Christmas and I play through all the really great stuff, eventually you're gonna run out of good Genesis games. That would be worth my time. As I head down this toilet, teleport to the other side of the stage. And this doesn't count as a sequence break because this is a very skill-based shortcut. But here is the first new thing added to the special edition.
I'm nude.
Yeah, he just said I'm nude. Basically, they created an expansion of the first level from the original Genesis game. And I would say this game also saw release on Super Nintendo. But what's shocking is that this version of the game is only available on Sega CD and PC. It has not seen a re-release, as even the HD remaster of Earthworm Jim doesn't feature any of the extra content. Anyways, we are at the first boss. Basically, we want to go underneath this guy when he starts vomiting fish. But be careful to avoid the record player. Now we need to time it so it actually hits him each time off the spring. Now he will just be vomiting fish constantly. And that's it for the boss. What's that? There's like a sharp ringing in the background. What was that about? So obvious, and of course, there's no save feature, but there is a password feature.
I'm a rocket man.
And for this section, you just hold down the A button in order to get a speed boost. What you want to do is stay ahead of that rooster thing and get to the end. If you don't make it to if you lose the race against the actually it's not a rooster, it's a crow. The story of this game is simple. Earthworm Jim will attempt to escape from being devoured by crows on a farm, hid away inside of an alien suit that this crow guy hid on the farm, and that's the story of Earthworm Jim. And this is an alien crow, so it's basically a wacky Ben 10 sort of thing.
I win.
However, well, as wacky as this game is, it's also really hard. And for all my efforts, we have two continues, which we'll never use. And what the heck is the name of the level? As in, we're in hell. Or at least an alien planet that smiled after hell. And you got Nylon Bald Mountain playing. There's literally a cat dancing in the background. So yeah, perfect playthrough conditions for this game. For the most part, all you have to do is beat the game, but you do have to, but there are a couple additional tasks to watch out for.
Oh yeah.
There are also, technically speaking, secret levels to play, but you kind of have to discriminate between what levels you want to play and which ones you don't want to play. So it's not like you can do them all, because you can't. So I like that starts off with Nylon Ball Mountain and it turns into elevator music. And of course there's like a business bureaucrat as an enemy in hell. This game's very trippy and surreal. But another bit of trivia, Earthworm Jim was for a while the most critically acclaimed Sega Genesis game of all time. Which is kind of shocking to say the least. Especially since nowadays people would probably lean towards its sequel, Earthworm Jim 2, as the superior game. And people generally rate the same 5 or 6 games at the top of the list over and over again. You got Sonic, Streets of Rage, Gunstar Heroes, Shinobi 3, maybe Castlevania Bloodlines, and maybe Phantasy Star 4, or, oh wait, or no, Boss Fights. Hold on. I wasn't paying attention, so I had no idea what was going on. Alright. This guy, you can only hit him with by whipping your head at him. That sounds counterintuitive, but remember that Earthworm Jim himself is just the head. The rest of him is literally an alien body, full body suit that Jim can control. Which is literally the reason why an earthworm, for whatever reason, has hands and feet. It's not his. Just borrowing it. So now we gotta make for progress, and we actually want to. You literally want to outrun those falling spikes so you can get shelter here from their relentless assault. That's how you end the first part of the level. Begin the first part of the level. So, really, the main thing that makes this game so hard are some of the tricky platforming and multitasking involved. Like, you can't just hop from one place to another and call it a day. You actually need to you have to literally use your head and quickly time your whips and your jumps in order to get across very tricky situations. It's not totally due to how difficult the enemies are or how much damage they take, because this game gives you a shit tons of different opportunities to upgrade your weapon or to accumulate ammo. Though your ammo count for your default gun maxes out at 5,000. But that's fine.
I'm nude.
You know, this is the first phase of this boss fight, the Cat Devil. He basically does have to hop over his projectiles, and his flame shots will start taking out more and more of the pillar beneath him. You do this because the cat has taken your bodysuit hostage. And now we can reclaim our body and we can fish this guy off. He has 9 lives though, so we have to kill every last one of them to be through with this boss.
3. 5.
So yeah, they're literally counting down for you.
7. 8.
So this is very easy, just keep track of where the eyes come in and shoot in that general area, and that's it.
Groovy.
If you have to jump to get out of the way, use your head to hit him instead. You can't fire your gun in the air for whatever reason. And this level is exclusive to the Sega CD version, too. So while there are certain sections of levels that were added into Earthworm Jim Special Edition that weren't there previously in Sega CD, this is the only full-blown level that's added to the CD version. So the main gimmick is simple. We basically need to get this little dragon thing to sniff us out and then chase after us. You can't kill him, and he will eat you with a single bite. They also reproduce asexually and respawn infinitely. So this is definitely an example of a puzzle-based platforming level. Why this wasn't added to the original Genesis version, I have no idea. So we sniff him out, I jump over him, and he will then go the other way, and though they will split up into smaller pieces, those smaller pieces can be killed.
Oh yeah.
And yep, and of course you want to hold your butt up so he doesn't eat, because even if you're hanging from the ropes, he can still eat you. So you have to hold up to lift your to lift your fat ass up so he can't reach you. So why is the thing so stupid? Well, it's not stupid, it's blind. The story goes is that monster thing used to have a human owner that loved and cared for it. One day it basically ate its owner, but one day it wound up eating its owner and has literally eaten out the entire plant, with leaving nothing but those pesky flies behind. Those missile launchers are the keys to dealing with those flies super efficiently because there's so many of them. Gotta be careful because
Oh yeah.
those monsters can literally respawn right on top of you. Go sniff it. By the way, once he decides to chase after you, he never stops chasing you until he runs into something and blows up into a bunch of smaller clothes.
Oh yeah.
Alright, and we wait for him to pass by, and we can slip on by, and that's it for this level.
Groovy.
I'll say groovy. Now, the last thing you need to do is, I played the game on the highest difficulty setting on purpose. And the reason being is because while the game does not call you a pussy for playing on the easier difficulties, the game will just spout random trivia about earthworms if you do, though. But if you beat the game on the hardest difficulty setting, the game will actually acknowledge it. And will tell you that, remember that you are great even when you're rotting away serving a life sentence in prison. So yeah, the game definitely has a sense of humor. A dark, wacky sense of humor. Also very, very surreal. So yeah, once you make it past the crow, the only way the crow can catch up to you is if you either hit something or you purposely let go of the A button.
Groovy.
But if you lose the race, you have to fight the crow thing in a boss fight. Which I'm going to have to get around doing anyways, because that's a level that you can represent. But you only need to do it once. There are these giant, roided up, cats or bulldogs? Oh wait, they're bulldogs. The roided up bulldogs. And this level these two levels here are probably the most difficult levels in the entire game. Well, technically they're two acts of the same level, but I digress. But you have to ride on a hamster, go through these underwater tubes. Yeah, because it's an underwater hamster thing. And you have to press A to bite on the oncoming enemies or you'll take damage. By the way, that hamster's the only thing that can kill those orange enemies. And we have to deal with the weird underwater physics. You gotta steer those nozzles down there. And then the opposite where you want to go in order to push us to where we want to go.
Oh yeah.
They're basically underwater jet propulsory units. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the enemies here. So there aren't any nasty surprises. You have to open that door somehow, so we have to hop up here, get to the upper levels, and flip the switch. You can't go down the way we came, but we can go down through the other pipe. And yes, these underwater ball things trying to maneuver them are the reasons why I probably consider this the most difficult level in the game. Though some of the end game levels are no slouches either. This would typically be level 3 if you were playing this on the Genesis or Super Nintendo. But on Sega CD it got promoted to level 4. It's simple. Once you beat the boss of an area, that counts as an end of the level. Fortunately, this hard as balls stage does have the easiest boss in the entire game. By a country mile, it literally takes 0 effort. If the capsule breaks or you run out of time, the capsule will explode and you will die. You can't regenerate health, but you can regenerate the time. So keep all that in mind. Alright, it doesn't look like... I tried finding a way to get past this guy, but without the hamster you can't. He is literally indestructible, and I can't figure out how to get past him without taking damage, so... Luckily you go up here, there's an extra life, you go up this pipe, and we can't recover our life yet, still. But this isn't the end of the level, this is just the end of the act. Tube Race is that second act. And this isn't quite as long as the previous level. Its underwater navigation sequence is way harder. Literally, this hamster's the only thing that can kill those orange guys. Now, first order of business, we absolutely need to use this thing. This will get us. Instead of replenishing our health to 30, it charges it all the way up to the maximum 99, which will be immensely helpful in getting us through this water labyrinth. Now, I actually felt way more comfortable here because it's mostly just a straight line with a few slight curves. So I haven't bumped into anything yet. But it does get but as we progress, this tunnel gets way more difficult to navigate. Alright, those were the first hits, that can't be good. And it's important that you move fast yet cautiously. You have to move super fast in this section because time is of the essence. But you also need to be careful because if you hit anything, your capsule takes damage, and it's possible that that damage will result in you bouncing off the walls and taking even more damage. So far, I've managed to make very good time through this water labyrinth. But we're about to die, so you gotta be super careful, and we're through. And this is the boss. You just knock out the fish bowl, and that's it. Yeah, even the game knew that that underwater labyrinth was hard enough, so just gave us a piss easy boss. Where you knock down a fish bowl. By the way, that crow thing also gets a lot faster and becomes more keen on taking the speed boosters. I'm not sure what the normal balls those normal blue balls are supposed to be, but if I had to take a guess, they probably affect whether or not you get a continue or not. get from completing these. The electric blue balls, though, act as a shield for protection. And of course the boosters, as soon as you touch them, give you an instant speed boost. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. Anyways, that is our third round through those tunnels. Just like 4 or 5 more of these to go. It's not a problem. Alright, this one is just a best of 5 boss battle against this Booger Man. The first round, the enemy, there's like a little eyeball here who makes no effort to try to eat you. You just watch it, so... Furthermore, this guy, this Booger Man here, it's fairly easy to knock down and cause the rope to break. But what you really need to do is get him to ram him into the wall a bunch of times. Which is actually as easy as to do, and we already did it. So round 2. Now you have to add another element to this, and that's that the eyeball in that pit will now try to eat you. And that's it for the round 2, and now for round 3. Hopefully the final round. And now both the monster down below and the Booger Man here will try to go where you're going. As such, Booger Man here is way more difficult to hit, to ram into the wall. So this may take a bit of a while to kill. Right now we have to try to avoid this guy until he... I will say this music is pretty kick-ass. Kind of... So we just keep ramming him into the wall until we break his snot rope. Yeah, this game can be pretty gross. I mean, it was the 90s. It was the time of Ren Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life. And Beavis and Butthead. It was the gross out era. The ad campaign for Earthbound revolves around that game be absolutely stinking it up to high heavens. And being really foul and disgusting when the game was anything but that. No, I'm not covering Earthbound for my 100th. My 100th perfect playthrough is gonna be something that I can actually play on my capture card. And finally, took this guy out. Jeez. And now we get to move on to level 5, which is technically level 6 now. But in this game, it's literally called level 5. No, I'm not kidding. So, why am I collecting these balls? I have no idea. I do know why I'm grabbing the speed boosters. And the electric balls protect you from harm. And the speed boosters, well, give you a speed booster. Which means even though the crow's rubber band right on top of our heels at all times, at least with the, well, at least still allow us to finish the stage a lot faster. And it looks like, okay, we're done.
I win!
Oh yeah, so why is Earthworm Jim going out of his way to fight this crow? And traveling to different planets? Because he heard of a hot chick that needs rescuing. What's her name?
Groovy!
Yo, really, that's her name. What's her name? Princess what's her name? And this level is literally called level 5. Now this is where we get kind of the branching pathway thing. And really, the branching pathway does not affect the outcome of the game at all. All it does is affect what level you what levels you choose to play and which ones you choose not to. Anyways, we gotta flip that switch so we can go backwards. And we can make forward progress now, and we gotta be careful because those electric fields will hurt us. We can now climb these escalators. Alright, so, okay, we need a tail. We need to whip the head. Use the head whip. Take that thing out. And you can't stay on these balls for too long or else you'll get shocked. Alright, and basically this is basically this is literally just whack-a-mole here. Shoot the direction where the enemies are coming from and fire. And by the way, this game is gonna get way harder from here on out. Trust me, the difficulty lies in the platforming elements and how you have to think outside the box in order to get past a lot of these levels. And have precise timing as well. So yeah, we're just firing wherever, the second we instantly see an enemy pop up, we fire in that direction. And yeah, I think we're done with the enemy swarms. So we're nearing the branching paths, and the reason why I'm skipping the other path in favor of the path I end up choosing, because the alternate path is filled to the brim with pitch black levels that you can't see anything. Unless you're firing your gun, but then you only see them for a split second. Had I gone up there, in that corner back there, I would have gone to the dark rooms. So we're skipping those dark rooms in favor of this route. Because we can actually see what we're doing here. And our heads separate from our body thanks to those fans, so we gotta carefully navigate and platform around the obstacles. But I digress, we are reunited at long last, so
Oh yeah.
Jim should have very little trouble trying. Okay, never mind. Get used to this. And there's another reason why I'm skipping the dark levels, and that's because this playthrough would be pretty long. Is already long enough as is. I literally had to shave off time from the load screens just to fit this all in under an hour. Otherwise, an hour-long playthrough of this game is virtually impossible. At least this version of the game is virtually impossible. So yeah, I am just gonna... Why am I so tired? It's not even... Probably because it's gonna be night... Probably because it's technically early evening right about now. Alright, and... And now we're taking on the sub-boss, which is the scientist being carried around by this monkey. No wait, it's a scientist that has a monkey who has whose head is attached to the monkey's backside. Must have eaten a smile devil fruit or something. That's a One Piece reference for anyone who doesn't get that. Alright, you just want to either scare him off or try to get past him. Alright, perfect timing. Walk down here and take on Monkey Butt. Monkey Butt, some more. What is that? It's even what I think it is.
Oh yeah.
It's impossible to tell. Anyways, here is the resolution of this fight. This chicken robot, which we have to drop these enemy membranes on top of by hitting the target with your head. And now we fight the chicken as a proper boss fight while we are falling down. By the way, you would not get any of this if you took the dark route. You took the dark route instead, so... There you go. Alright. Okay, so it's a good thing we have max healthy, because if we were down to our last hit, we would have triggered a bug. Whereas at the first opportunity at the next level, we will suddenly die with suffer a fatal heart attack at like within a few seconds of starting the next level. This is because we got damaged right at the take damage right at the point where you defeat the boss. the damage doesn't register right away. Unless you're blinking, signifying that you should be hurt, but you're not. Signifying damage, though you haven't taken any, because the stage technically ended right then and there. But if you now, because I have 100% life, that glitch will never happen. But if I had just 1% health when that happened, when I trigger that glitch, Earthworm Jim would be about to suffer a fatal heart attack as soon as we start the next level. Luckily, there are extra lives in this and continues in this game. Unlike Terminator for the Sega Genesis. God, why did I not play the Sega CD version? Now, this is probably the third hardest level in the game. Behind the underwater level and the final level, of course. And the reason is because you have to escort this stupid ass pink dog. Because if he falls off the cliff or gets attacked by an enemy, he will mutate into a hulking purple monster, and that counts as a loss of life. And oh yeah, there's this meteor shower that sporadically pops up that completely wrecks your health bar. I tried going for a 0 damage run, but after finding my back against the wall in level 3, getting past that orange enemy, I realized that this was probably just about as avoiding damage here would have been just about as much in the way of fruitlessness as anything else. Luckily, so long as you're firing your gun, the dog will not think to make forward progress. But man, having to move my gun up and down means I have to keep a watchful eye on this purple dog at all times. And for those cans you want to use the head whip, the guns don't deal enough damage to kill them. Yeah. Oh. Meteor shower's about to commence. I might as well just take the damage while escorting this dog, cause... Alright, we're at the point where we're at. At that point I had to slow down a bit so I don't die. Alright, and... Yeah, we're just firing our guns and trying to keep... And then whip this guy so to send him flying in the air, and shooting while he's around causes him to duck down and stop where he's stop his movements. Good thing too, otherwise this level would be about as close to an impossible task as they come. And we're near the end of this stage. Actually, no, we're not. Technically, we are near the end of this stage, but there's 2 exits to this level. And this is where one of our conditions for a perfect playthrough will come in. In addition to beating the game on the highest difficulty setting, I have to fully complete this level. And just like that, we are on the crane. Dog's on the crane. And I left him off the house so he could continue on through the more difficult back end of this level. See the signs? advancing home. We could let him enter his house right here, right there, and the level ends. Or I could do the next best thing and escort this dog across the entire freaking stage. Now that is a perfect playthrough. And try and navigate this area so the dog doesn't die, I don't die, I don't lose track of him, and I keep my health high. It is a lot trickier. Sometimes you have to jump and whip at him. And that's it for the level. Seriously, there's no more level after this, so we fully clear that. Our second condition for we cleared our first condition for a perfect playthrough. Now for the second, which is to beat the game, the rest of the game on the difficult setting. Actually, the first condition for a perfect playthrough is just plain Special Edition because for the extra content, while the second condition was escorting that stupid dog across the entire level. And yep, we are just navigating this section. As long as we remain ahead, we're good. I think there are 2 more levels left.
I win!
Alright. And we got our 4th continue, and I think this is gonna be our last one. Intestinal distress. So, level 8 is literally inside someone's intestines. Again, really gross. Your lower intestines! And we got to shoot those cannon things because whip them with our head so we could take them out and get them to stop producing those spike balls to attack us. Alright, so far so good, and yep. And we hop up these testicle tracks. Man, that guy must have some serious issues if that's what his intestines look like.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, this jump at the end is literally impossible without using the helicopter, and that's done by letting go of the jump button as you near the height of your jump, and then pressing it and hold and mashing it over and over again will allow you to copter your weight across the rest of the way across the gap. But now we're in the upper intestines and about to take on the boss of the stage. Which looks to be a living stomach. No, it's a kidney. Because it's literally pumping out piss at us. Man, this game's disgusting. But at least we took him out. And this is literally our last Indie Asteroid section.
I'm a rocket man.
Which means we are gonna let this guy win. We'll try to do whatever we can to try to win this race, but we'll let him win at the end so we could challenge him to a boss fight. It's actually a lot faster to try to win the race and then only to choke it all away at the end than it is to just let him win straight up. Remember, the crow is literally rubber banded to be just on your heels at all times, regardless of how fast you're going. So it doesn't take a lot of effort for him to potentially catch up. And yep, he grab that. And we're gonna let him pass it because we're about to clear the level, and just like that.
This doesn't make me a loser, does it?
No, it doesn't, because we let him win. But we gotta fight him in the boss fight now. His name is Psycho. Get it? Because it's psycho, like a mixture of Psycho and Crow. He's very easy though. You just shoot him enough until he gets stunned, and then you whip him. By the way, you can't damage him with your gun. You can only stun him. The only way to damage him is with your head, but you gotta stun him first.
Man, Psycho, you got skunked.
And just like that, we defeat our arch nemesis, Psycho. Now we gotta take on the final level, Buttville. I think that's her name too, is Queen Butts or something. Now this is a 2-act stage where you have to slowly descend your way down through all these thorny walls and floors. These thorny sides, so to speak. Slowly damage to the touch, and then make it to the end. Now we are in Act 2, and this is the final section of Earthworm Jim, where the final boss awaits us. So tell me, what exactly has what kind of creature is known for having a really giant ass butt? Well, at least the female of the species having a giant butt. Well, not a specific species in particular, but it's a bug. Like an ant or a wasp. Something with hives. So, worth keeping in mind going forward. Or... we have to be careful because those things will instantly kill you. And this game is kind of gory. Some of Earthworm Jim's deaths are quite gory, like getting bit in half, and then blood and guts are just spewing out everywhere from both sides. But the first phase of the final boss fight is you gotta shoot the butt side, shoot the anus. The queen's anus, so to speak. And at this point, I don't really care so much about maintaining max health or anything like that. Because there are no more levels after this. Alright, so we took him out.
queen!
And now we just have to stay where we are and shoot at the queen's head over and over and over again. And after that, I will let the end game monologue play out for us. Let the praise and adulation soon commence. Man, this queen takes a ton of hits. Just die already. We start at 5,000 ammo and we're like 60% done already. Alright, finally. She's dead. The queen is... Oh my god, the queen is dead. And that is extremely gross and gory. This section play out? Coming soon?
You're the best! Boy, you've really whipped this game. I mean, you can put it back on the shelf. You've mastered it. I mean, on difficult. That's incredible. I couldn't even do that. I'm telling you, you know, you can just put the joystick down now and rest assured that you are the best. I mean, you're probably the only one who's even done this. You're probably the only person who's heard this right now. Heard this. Me, talking right now. You! You are someone special to us. We care about you. I mean, if you ever feel bad about yourself, think about this day and what you're hearing right now. You are the best. And if you fail at anything, if you come in last at the track meet, you just sit there and raise your head up and say, Shiny said, I was the best. And dang it, I'm the best. I'm in last place, but I'm the best. If you wake up someday and you're in prison, serving a life sentence, you just look up and say, I'm the best. When you're down, when you're lonely, when all their friends have turned their backs on you because you're such a jerk, you just sit there and say to yourself, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best.
And that's it for Earthworm Jim for the Sega CD. Hey, what's her name? And looky here, it's some real Red Hot Riding Hood type of stuff. This is literally taken from the Tex Avery short Red Hot Riding Hood. Go look it up if you haven't already. It's a classic. And of course, she gets crushed by that cow that we flipped at the very beginning of the game. And yep, that's it for Earthworm Jim Special Edition. This game was fun. It was hard as hell, but it was fun. And I definitely appreciate that. And it's definitely wacky, very inventive. I would probably recommend it. I do think this is definitely a must play for any Genesis enthusiast. Or maybe you have or maybe not the Sega CD or PC versions. The Genesis version's fine, and I think you can make do with even the Super Nintendo version of this game. Either way, I definitely recommend it. And if you agree with me, be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel and spread the word. Play Earthworm Jim if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate that you do all that, and then some. And, oh yeah, that's 9 games of courses in the book, just 3 more games before we approach our 100th perfect playthrough. Stay tuned to that. Oh, Tex Avery was credited. Oh. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it, and that's a cooked queen right there. Alright, bye-bye.